part 3 of our kind of Fat Loss Forever sort of seminar that we've been running this quarter, I guess. Actually, this is the final quarter of the week, or final week of the quarter, sorry, should I say. So we're going to do a quick recap of what we've kind of gone over, like literally 2 slides, because you guys kind of know what we've been through. But today is really focusing on the skills that make fat loss stick, right? So hence why I've got a few bits and bobs, and we're going to actually do some stuff. I might pair us up with a couple of the trainers around here and go through actually how to track food, like little tips that we use when we're tracking stuff that kind of help us to either save stuff, so we're not always having to constantly put in new data each time, because most of us eat the same foods most of the time. So we'll kind of get to all that. We're not recording, are we? Yeah. Oh, damn it, I can't mention about the estate agent and the car that he drives. But you can guess what I want to say, right? Yeah, exactly. My thoughts exactly. So I think most of us know what they should do, right? We all know we should probably eat better, move more, maybe drink a bit less alcohol. It's not about the knowledge problem, because I think because most people know it, but obesity is still going up, it's clearly not that. It's not the knowing, it's the understanding what the skills are to actually help you do it, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to go through tonight. And also figure out that the same thing doesn't work for everyone, right? So that's why with most of our clients, if we're doing a food diet, for example, if they're happy with numbers and they like using a fitness tracker, awesome, use that. If that like fills them with dread and they really don't want to do that, okay, let's find something else to do. Could you write it down on a piece of paper? Could you just take photos and WhatsApp it to me? Like, it doesn't really matter how we collect the data. It's more about just collecting it, and then we can make a change from there, right? So that's why I want to go through a variety of different options for everybody. So you've all got hopefully a bit more tools in your tool belt to help with that. Oh, this happened last time. Come on. There we go. Come on. Oh, we'll just go through it like that, I guess. No? Ah, there we go, right. So, you can't change what you can't see. So most people are not overeating on purpose. Okay, so it's just most people are unaware of the food that they eat throughout the day. Our food memory is awful in general, right? It's really bad. Like, I doubt anyone could say with 100% accuracy exactly what they ate today. And we're on today. If I asked you, what did you eat last month? What did you eat in January, Jojo? Like, not a clue, right? Yeah, but like, not a clue, right? Our food memory is really bad. And a lot of the time it's because we're kind of doing other things. You know, you're cooking dinner and, you know, trying a little bit of this and a bit of that. Bit of pre-dinner cheese, you know, bit of post-dinner this, whatever adds up. So that's the thing. We just want to bring awareness of what you're doing so you can make better decisions, okay? So most people, I think I mentioned this in both seminars, but most people will underreport their calorie intake by 50%. Dietitians, whose professional job is to understand nutrition, will underreport by about 17%. Okay, so it's not a perfect system. Nobody's perfect. So even having the knowledge, there's still a bit of a skill gap there for a reporting issue, okay? So it's just bringing awareness to what you are eating throughout the day and understanding where are the hidden calories that you might not be aware of or about, okay? So, calorie awareness. Calories are often hidden in cooking oils, like we discussed, sauces as well, alcohol, snacks, higher fat ingredients, drinks. I've always put a caveat of healthy doesn't necessarily mean calorie free or less calories. So most people might see the avocado and eggs on toast at brunch, go, oh, that's the healthy option, I'll go for that. That might be about 500-600 calories, but they'll shun the bacon sandwich because that's unhealthy, you can't have that. But it might actually be half the amount of calories in a bacon sandwich. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a bacon sandwich, right? So sometimes, that's why I don't say that ultra-processed foods are bad or they are high calorie. There may be times where actually it might be the lower calorie option. So don't just always assume, right, the healthy option is better, because this stuff like granola, nuts, all these things, these healthy things are actually quite high in calories. Sometimes you're not aware of that. So a lot of people, we have a lot of clients who say, I barely eat anything, but I just can't lose weight. And they don't mention the multiple coffees they have. If you're having a flat white or a latte, that's 150 to 220 calories per coffee. If you're having 2 or 3 of those, right? Cooking oil, they don't even think about the cooking oil that they're using. Like I said, I blame Jamie Oliver for a lot of this. Our culture, Italians, it's your fault. It's all your fault. Just lots of olive oil on there, not realizing, again, that might be 120 to 240. It does taste good, right? Let's not put all the blame on there. Snacks as well. We have a snacking culture, I would say, in the UK. Can't have a cup of tea without a biscuit, right? They are almost synonymous with one another. Absolutely, right? A glass of wine. I just have a glass of wine. I just have half a bottle a night. I just have a bottle a night, yeah. I just have a bottle a night. Yeah, 1 bottle a night. It's absolutely fine. And then little things they don't even realise, you know, the sauces, little bit of chocolate, little bits, like I said, the pre-dinner or post-dinner snacking. Oh, just got to try a bit of that before I have it. Kind of forget about that. So all of those things can add up to quite big totals. So you could be, without even realising it, having 500 to 800 calories extra per day that you haven't even registered as food or as calories, right? It's just an awareness thing for a lot of people. Like I said, snacks are things that add up. So if most people are having 3 square meals a day, that's their most amount of calories. So that's following the yellow line, structured meals. But if you're having a little snack in between, you know, your 11s, your sort of mid-afternoon, your post-dinner, you could again be adding that extra sort of 600 calories a day. And that's probably quite a conservative estimate. I would say a lot of people, again, are adding way more than that by just the consistent grazing and snacking throughout the day. So, skill number 2 we want to think about. So we've got awareness, now we actually want to think about how we're tracking. So tracking just allows us to bring awareness to what we're eating, okay? It is not forever, okay? So people do not have to calorie track putting stuff into an app for the rest of their lives. I just think of it as literally upskilling yourself to understand most of the foods that you're eating and what they are. Because I could tell you now, most of the foods that I eat, I could just, off the top of my head, I know what the calories are, roughly, there or thereabouts, okay? Because I've done it so many times that I just know it, right? It just becomes one of those things. It's like you learn your home number, you know your mobile number, all those things. You just sort of start to see patterns and understand these numbers. So it is training wheels for nutrition, right? But it's not a forever thing to do, okay? You can use MyFitnessPal, you can use our app as well. To be honest, I use MyFitnessPal. I should probably say I use my own app, but I use MyFitnessPal because I signed up for the year subscription, so I feel like I should use it. But the thing to really help with the accuracy of the calorie tracking is to use a pair of kitchen scales. Does everyone have a pair of these at home? Yeah, these make a big difference on the accuracy of what you're doing, because sometimes eyeballing is okay. Better once you know what the calories are, but in the beginning, this just gives you real accuracy on how much you're actually using, okay? So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either have your plate on and you add stuff onto it, or if you're taking stuff out of something, so like a yogurt, for example, you're scooping yogurt out into your own bowl, you just put the actual yogurt on here, put it to 0, and then you've got a minus score instead. Doesn't matter how you do it, like they all work, but it's just little things like that that can just make things a little easier. And then after a while, you know, you'll see it, you'll have done it multiple times, and you'll know, oh, okay, that's my roughly 200 grams of yogurt that I'm aiming for. You just know, oh, it's 3 scoops. I just know it now. So that's kind of how we like to do it. It's not a perfect system. So can you tell me how accurate the London Underground map is? It's not accurate at all, right? It's actually, you know, there's lines all over the place. Exactly right, Paula, exactly right. But you can still get from A to B. You know where you're going, right? Okay, it's the same thing kind of with tracking. It's not a perfect system. So like, even calorie labels are not 100% accurate. Again, they can be off anywhere between 25, 30% on certain things as well. So again, we're just kind of making our best guesstimate, right? But it all comes back to, if we're tracking a certain amount of calories and we're putting it into our app and we know what we've hit, And then we're tracking our weight as well. We can then correlate the two. Is our weight coming down and we're hitting pretty consistently the calorie target we're aiming for? Awesome, we must be in a deficit, right? That's proving that. If we're hitting this calorie target, but actually our weight's staying pretty stable and it doesn't really change that much, okay, we're probably at maintenance. If we're hitting this calorie target and our weight's going up, then we're probably in a surplus. But that's the only way you can really kind of correlate, is what I'm tracking accurate with the outcome that I'm looking for, basically, okay? So this is how you track. Has everyone got like a MyFitnessPal or their phone or anything like that? Cool. Does anyone have any questions about it? Because I've written up like a rough guide of what we do, but does anyone have any questions on how to use it?
I found it so tedious. I must admit, putting everything like you said.
Was that because each time you had to go back and re-put it back in?
Yeah.
Cool. So do you know how to save meals?
No.
Ah. So maybe showing you something like that might be, because I assume, Paula, that you eat regular kind of meals. You have.
So I was going to go back to your graph where you were talking about breakfast, dinner and tea, as we say up north.
Sorry, yeah.
And the thing is, the problem I have is that I have that bit in the middle of all of those three when I'm absolutely starving, and then I just eat too much.
Right.
I have to have a snack. So, you know, and I think also to keep my energy levels and my focus up, I have to have a snack. And I would do my best to make it like a piece of fruit or unsalted nuts or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's adding that to the tracker as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found it a little bit. Yeah, and also, yeah, they kept sending me messages and
Checking up on you, sending you notifications. Yeah.
A tutorial, user experience with MyFitnessPal would be good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, Paige, Ricky and I all have it. You've got it. Paige, you got it. Ricky, you got it. Yeah. We can, show you like the tips and tricks and stuff. So there's a thing called My Meals. You can save meals that you make. So then you only have to click that once and it just goes in.
yeah, because I was going all through the whole thing again.
Yeah. If you have to scan every time, then it's like, oh, okay, just. The other thing as well, it does start to now, once you've like put stuff in, even if you just type in like blueberries, for example.
The scanner was handy that you could hold it over the barcode of the.
Yes.
That was useful.
It's the initial bit is the biggest faff, right? It's probably the first like 7 to 10 days where it's just like, okay, all the new items that they don't know about are all going into the app. And then after that, hopefully you could get into a bit of a rhythm and then start to see things. But again, it's not a perfect system. That's kind of why I do kind of like a hybrid system of a bit of tracking and a bit of like regular meal planning, as in most of your meals should be kind of similar most of the time. Then you have to think about it. You know, your breakfast, your dinner, breakfast, lunch and snack maybe should be quite regular. Just have a few options that you rotate through. And then dinners where you can, if you want to, go a bit crazy and do other things as well, experiment. But I find, for me anyway, my breakfast is pretty similar most days. My lunches are pretty similar most days. My snacks are pretty similar. Try not to snack, but if I do snack, it's pretty the same stuff, because then I don't have to think about it, right? We make 30,000 decisions a day, right? Do you want to keep adding more and adding things? It's brain power, right? It's like bandwidth that you're just taking away. But we'll get onto that. But yes, okay, how to make the thing. So, okay, here's how we would encourage our clients to do it and where we would kind of point them in the right direction, okay? So you need to follow your targets. That target should be set by us, not by MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is way overestimates what people need. You also need to switch off the calories out option as well. That's another thing you can do on the app. Because I don't know if you've noticed, if you don't do that, when you do steps, the app says, oh, you've done X amount of steps today, you can have an extra 300 calories, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, right? Which is what 99% of people do who go to the gym. They all go, I worked out today, so I'm going to have a pork pie. I've did it, I'm just going to sit down and eat my pork pie, right? It incentivizes the wrong things, right? We're not trying to incentivize, because then the problem is then you look at exercise as a means to eat more, which is that can get a really bad way to start to look at exercise and a bad way to look at food, right? Food is a reward for doing the thing you hate or whatever. And then you also start to see exercise as a means to, oh, I fancy a bit of cake, I'm just going to jump on the bike. The problem with that is, right, I could go on that bike for an hour and at a steady state, I could burn about 600 calories, right? I could walk into Gales and in the first 10 seconds of being there, I've eaten 600 calories, right? So easy to undo it. From a time to cost perspective, it's not even worth trying to out-train the amount of calories you got. Unless you have all the free time in the world and you want to sit on a bike all day, have at it. But I would suggest turn that feature off. So maybe we can go through and help people just turn that off, because that just incentivizes the wrong things, okay? We will give you your target. We've got our own calorie tracker or calculator that we use for our clients. Again, it's not 100% accurate. It's a start point. It then requires a bit of experimenting, seeing how you react to it. Does it put you in a deficit or not? But it's a good start position. And the only thing you need to worry about are calories and protein. So as long as you are within your calorie target and you're hitting close to your protein target, all is good. Step 2, log everything. Everything, absolutely everything, right? Food, drinks, oils, snacks, the works. Like anything that you are consuming that is going into your mouth, you need to put it into the app, okay? That way you can see more accurately how much you have eaten throughout the day. Be consistent, not perfect, right? Because I would hate to think that anyone would bring this out with them when they're on a night out, right? Or to a restaurant. Sorry, do you mind just, could you just weigh this bit just so you can tell me, right? That's not what this is about, right? It's a guide, right? So it's just about when you're at home, you have the option, you can be more accurate, great. But the idea is that you should then be able to either bank away calories, so you can go out and spend them on a meal out, but you don't have to track the meal. You just know, right, I've set enough aside, I can go out and spend. It's like spending and saving money, right? It's the same kind of thing. Or you don't have to worry about that, as in when you go out, just enjoy yourself. Like this is all about the long term, not the short term, okay, for most people. Keep it simple. Like I said, repeat meals, save foods, reduces your decision making. So repeating the same kind of things. If you want to add a bit of a variety to it, if you're one of those people who needs that consistent variety, look at changing single ingredients in whatever you're eating, not constantly revamping the whole thing, right? So if I'm having like eggs on bagels at the moment, I'm having eggs on bagels, I will change maybe what sauces I'm using in the morning. So I might do I did a bit of spicy chili oil this morning, a bit nice. I might do a bit of brown sauce one day as well. It's the same thing, but I've just changed the sauce. But for me, my head's like, oh, that tastes different, right? So you're not always having like, oh God, boring, bland, same meal. So you can make a little bit of difference there. But I'm not changing the whole thing, right? I'm kind of stuck on one thing at the moment. Check your day. So kind of relook at the end of the day. Close enough is the key, right? If you're plus or minus 100 or 200 calories from your target, it's not the end of the world. As long as you're within that ballpark figure, okay? That's the key. So it's not about exactly landing on a number that we give you. It's a range that you're aiming for. Because both ranges should still be in a deficit, but one will be a faster deficit and one will be a slower deficit. But they're both a deficit, right? So again, it's just about not being, right, I've got to land on 1,705 calories every day or else Paige is going to tell me off, right? She wouldn't do that, but you don't want it, she might. But you don't want to have that mindset. It's a rough guide, right? You're just trying to land within that figure, somewhere plus or minus 100 to maybe 200 calories, okay? The tracking is there to just build awareness, because again, there are sometimes things you're doing you don't even realize. There's habits that you have that could be a snack at a certain time. My mum and dad, bless them, like they have to have coffee at 11, right? If they can't have it before and they can't have it after, it has to be at 11, right? And then that used to be they'd have coffee and pastries at 11, right? And then we worked on that. They still have pastry occasionally, but they've reduced that because that was the thing that was keeping them, you know, the extra 200-300 calories a day just from the pastries that they weren't realizing was kind of, you know, keeping them the weight on a little bit. So I don't actually know how much weight they've lost in the last few years, but they have reduced their weight down just by changing that kind of habit, right? Because a lot of people, we do have habits. It might be post-dinner. I've got to have something sweet after dinner. Okay, what is it? Let's see what it is. Put it into the app. Is that the thing that's pushing you over the edge of your calorie target? We don't know, but unless you track it, you won't find out. So that's how to track calories. What might be good is to, if anyone hasn't eaten, so like Paula, for example, maybe we can show you, Paula, how to save meals on the calorie tracking apps. Has anyone got their, well, my phone's been used. Have you got your phone, Ricky? Can you show Paula, or show everyone, how to save in my meals?
You talked about a subscription for MyFitnessPal.
Yeah,
It's a free version.
there's a free version. You don't need to, you don't have to do the subscription one.
So, we have obviously the add button at the bottom, which is how you add all your foods in. In that section, you go to log food, and I'm pretty sure if you just press on the my meals tab, you could just create your own. So it's like you do if you were to add your normal sort of barcode stuff in, and then you just name the meal, and it all adds it together. It's pretty simple.
And it saves it as that meal.
It does.
Saves that as meal, and then
So
it's
like if I have the same porridge every morning for breakfast.
perfect.
Yeah.
Paula's porridge, bang. That one touch and it's in, right? That's it.
I find that if you do change quite a bit with what you eat, it's okay as well, because as you said, you can always just variety for like foods.
Yeah.
And then you can go in and edit that one and save this one.
You can edit it and save it something else, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could just create a different variation.
I use a different app.
Cool.
I use Zoe.
The Zoe app. Okay. Cool.
One down in King's
I've had
Cross.
my blood, and I had it done ages ago.
Okay.
Blood sugar and
How did you find that?
utterly terrifying.
Really interesting. Okay.
But obviously, I have a lot of bowel problem issues as well. So
Okay.
the reason I did it
Was for the gut health kind of side of things. Yeah.
gut health piece.
Mm.
But there,
That's what you specialise in, isn't it?
so basically, it does everything MyFitnessPal does.
Yeah.
So you can scan,
There's loads of
do
different apps.
Yeah.
There's like
do all of that, but it will also tell me the impact of a meal on my blood sugar levels. It tells me supposedly
Mm.
what would be good for my gut versus I don't know. Beetroot is okay, but broccoli is fantastic.
And how does that make you feel about different foods then when you were doing that?
I don't bother me at all.
No.
But that's just because I look at it and go, okay, so this is what I want to eat. It doesn't stop me from eating anything.
I was going to ask you to-
But I mean, I did it more from an education point
Yeah.
of view.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a limit to how many apps I can
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And
Well.
I have tracked it against, I have done it against MyFitnessPal
Cool.
to see, and obviously there are differences.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a 5 to 10% difference
Yeah.
in what they will say is in the calorie. You know, you scan a barcode on something.
Yeah. It's judgy, isn't it? It's a bit judgy. That's what I found with it. I've had a few clients who've done the Zoe stuff, the continuous glucose monitoring stuff. As far as I'm aware, as long as your blood sugar returns to normal, which it does, then it's I think
Yes,
that's
and
it.
it wasn't really the blood
Yeah.
sugar, it was the micro gut.
Yes,
microbiome
gut microbiome. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I understood it.
So that's with gut microbiome stuff, it's generally variety of foods. That is the key. It's having a variety of foods. Obviously,
The Zoe piece tracks.
yeah,
Have you done 30?
yes,
different
plants, yeah,
a week?
30 different, yeah, variety of, but it's hard, right? It's hard work. Yeah. It's yes, that is very challenging, but that's
I do get a sense of achievement from it when I do that.
when you do it, good. Yeah. Did it have was the goal? So the goal was that not for weight loss necessarily doing that one,
No,
or was the weight loss
no,
part of the
and-
goal?
And actually, when you do all of the stuff with Zoe,
Yeah.
they say to you, this is not about
Yeah.
weight loss. And they absolutely don't give you any kind of targets. They will
Right.
just say, this is 457 calories with
Right.
whatever, 30 grams of protein, X grams of fibre,
Yeah.
fat, whatever.
All that. Yeah.
And then it gives you a diet score that is
Right. Yeah. Trying to encourage that variety, right?
to you.
That is true. You definitely want a variety of fruits, vegetables, legumes, different meats, different things, right? We want to kind of feed different parts of our gut bacteria. So that is 100% true. The Zoe thing,
Probably a bit fatty.
it's a bit faddy, yeah. It obviously was all the rage a couple of years ago, I think, when it came out. And I don't know how much of it is stuck, which kind of on our sort of fat loss pyramid, if we're thinking about sustainability and adherence, if you can't stick to it for more than 3 months, then...
Because it was probably about 2 years ago when I first started doing it.
Yeah.
So I have actually stuck
Very good.
to doing it.
Very good. Yeah. But yeah, I found with a lot of clients, when fat loss was the goal, Zoe didn't necessarily help them with that part of the thing, but it did encourage a bit of food variety, which is always of benefit, always a good thing. However, oh no, go back, I'll switch one. If calorie tracking apps are the thing that fills you with dread, and you're out and about and you don't want to be the person who's scanning barcodes at the restaurant, right? Or doing things like that. Not that there are many barcodes at restaurants. You can use portion control, okay? And the wonderful thing is you can use your hand as your portion control guide, right? Hands are always on you, right? Abu Hamza's not here, so he's fine, right? Okay. But you've always got something you can eyeball to the plate that you're eating, right? Okay. This is really useful, like I said, on the go, home cooking, buffets, etc. Right? This is where the things are like, I have no idea how much is that going to be. It's like, cool, just chill. What you want to aim for is, if you're trying to create a nice rounded plate, so a variety of different foods, you want to be aiming for a palm-sized portion of protein, a fist-sized portion of vegetables, a cupped hand of carbohydrates, and a thumb of fats. Please don't use your hand to scoop rice out of the buffet onto your dish, okay? Use the utensils that are there, but it's roughly around about that, okay? Now, 1 hand is for women, 2 hands for men. Sorry, women, we get twice the amount, but like I said, we tend to burn more calories at rest, okay? Now, that is also it's not a perfect system, but it's a rough starting position. So your plate should have ideally these things on there. So we should be looking at having protein with each meal, some vegetables, some carbohydrates, and some portion of fats as well, okay? And then you can kind of customize it to yourself. So if you prefer to have less carbohydrates, you could double your portion of fats. If you prefer to have less fats, you could reduce the portion of fats, increase your carbohydrates. But I would generally suggest keep your protein and vegetables the same. If not, when you're dieting, you might want to slightly increase those portions, because that's high protein, high fiber. That's going to keep you satiated, keep you fuller for longer, basically. So this is another kind of tool in your tool belt for when you are out and about and you're just trying to figure out, okay, is this roughly going to tick all the boxes? Yeah, okay, I think that's about right. And if you are serving yourself at a buffet as well, then you can also, you've got a limit, right? I either say to people, 1 plate limit, but don't fill the plate as high as you possibly can. But if you've got the portion control guide as well, then you know roughly that you're going to tick all the boxes from your what you're aiming for, essentially. Food swaps. I think we touched on this one last time. So not just ingredients. So changing the beef mince from 20% to 5%, full fat to skim milk, full fat Greek yogurt, 0% fat. Difference between like frying or using an air fryer, that's going to make like a big difference as well. So cooking method sometimes could also help with just reducing your caloric intake. And there's lots of different examples of those as well. Yeah, we went through this last time. Cottage pie, right? So just by changing the ingredients, the thing looks exactly the same, but you may save yourself around 300 calories per portion, which could be about, if you're eating cottage pie every week, 52 weeks of the year, could be around about 16,000 calories per year, maybe 4 to 5 pounds body fat. So again, it's just one of those simple little things. Are there any dishes that you make on repeat that are like your staples at home? Are there any like ingredient swaps that you could make? So you're still eating the same thing. You still get to enjoy the same meals that you know how to cook and prepare. You just make that one little switch. Could that be the thing that makes it a bit easier? Okay, so here's one. This is why I've got a demonstration. I got some food earlier. I went to the shop. because I wanted to talk about food volume, right? So food volume, this is when people say eat less, move more, right? It's eat less calories, but you actually want to kind of trick your brain into thinking that you're eating more, right? And you use that by using lower calorie ingredients that are bigger on the plates, okay? So, what do we got here? Okay. Can someone hold that for me, chat? So that is a punnet of strawberries. Very nice. And we've got some dairy milk buttons. I'll share them around if anyone wants any. How many we got there? So, I think those two are the exact same amount of calories.
Including the plastic box.
Including the plastic box if you wanted to eat it as well, yeah. So that you can just see, right, from a food volume.
It's an entire punnet of strawberries, so already your brain's saying before.
Exactly, right? And I'm not suggesting that there is a moral value to either of these, right? This is not bad, this is not good, okay? They are both just foods. They have a caloric intake, they both have different purposes, right? Dairy milk buttons are delicious. We're probably going to share them after this, right? But strawberries are also delicious as well. And if you are dieting and you're trying to keep yourself full and be mindful of your health and your gut bacteria and trying to have the more single ingredient foods, then eating a lot of these is probably going to fill you up a little bit more than having these. But that's not to suggest that if you've got the calories and you want to spend them like this, you can spend them on this, right? There's no, like I said, don't put any moral value to food, because as soon as you start thinking of food and good and bad, that's when you'll start to then feel guilty for making quote unquote bad food decisions. And then also you'll feel really high and mighty as well. It's just as bad. This bag of rocket. How many dairy milk buttons do you think for this bag of rocket? I think it might.
There are more calories eating the rocket
Yeah.
than you actually get from the rocket.
I will tell you. I'm pretty sure.
Are those the super fancy scales that will do the food?
Oh, you can get those as well if you want. Yeah. I actually think it might be. Yeah.
You just need one of those. That's all you need. It's one.
It's one. One dairy milk button for that entire bag of salads, right? Okay, so again, we're not putting a moral value on either, okay, but I really like when I'm dieting to use salads because they are so low calorie and you can just have a whole big bowl of salad with this, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, like loads of different vegetables, throw in a bit of spray oil, you know, olive oil, good quality stuff.
To cover it all with a nice dressing.
Well, that's again. So I'll send you guys the link, right? But on Temu, you can get this spray oil thing. I think it's the best, like £2.50 I've spent this year, right? But it basically, you can put your own oil into it because most of the spray oils at shops are just like low calorie. Yes, lovely. They are great. I'm such a nerd. I even figured out it's about 2 calories per spray, but that's of extra virgin olive oil, so like good quality oil, right? So you spray that, you know, 10 or 12 sprays. That's 20, 30 calories. It's not a lot. All that all that veg, you can throw fruit in. Sometimes I put strawberries or berries in as well. Little bit of lemon, little bit of vinegar. It's pretty low, yeah, it's very, very low calories again. But you could literally have a massive side salad for about, 100, 150 calories. And if you ate all of that, plus all the rest of it, I guarantee you're going to feel pretty full. Also, you're ticking a load of boxes from fibre, micronutrients, all those other kind of things as well.
I got an HR contract with, 1 calorie spray.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And because it was a sector I'd never worked in, they sent me off to see how things were made and processed.
Mm.
And I've never used those 1 calorie. I honestly, when I saw that 1 calorie spray, before it went, there's a reason you can't see through that bottle. I've never seen anything.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
That's exactly why I suggest getting your own spray bottle.
Mm. Hey, I honestly thought anybody who's putting that into their body, it's going to kill them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be so chemical.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it.
it's like hydrogenized oil. The process of making oil like that is, it's not particularly pleasant. hence why, and Fiona's done it as well, and I can tell why now, but if you get your own spray bottle and you can put your own oil in, whatever your favorite oil is, honestly, they're all pretty damn good, like avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, even like rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, they're all got good qualities, at least you know what you're putting in, right? But again, using spray will reduce the total amount of calories, because you don't go Jamie Oliver, like 2 or 3 sprays and my entire pan's covered. And I don't need to put any more in. So it's like, okay, I'm still getting all the benefits of extra virgin olive oil. I'm just not necessarily spending the calories on that, right? Can anyone tell me what this is?
Oh, is it one of those?
Protein bar, grenade bar. So-called protein bar, absolutely. So this is a Oreo white chocolate protein bar, right? And it's actually not bad. This is one of the better ones. I know I said they taste like cardboard, but I think this one's the least cardboardy one. Anyway, this is 232 calories, 20 grams of protein, right? So it's not great for the amount of protein, right? Like a chicken breast would be like 40 grams of protein for about 160 calories. So not great on the protein side. If I decided to switch that and had this instead, this is the exact same amount of calories, 20 grams of protein, but I also get all this benefit of fiber and blueberries and stuff like that as well. So again, that little swap, I'm still hitting my protein target. It's still relatively easy to take around, you know, don't need like lots of stuff. It's really convenient. But again, that is probably going to feel a bit more satisfying than just having the protein bar, essentially.
I think I've recognised more of the ingredients in that than that.
Exactly, right? That is the thing. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they have actual Oreos as well.
I think it's got actual Oreos in as well, yeah. It's like, I was reading through it today because I was kind of curious, right? It's actually like quite a bit of fat, 10 grams of fat, relatively low carbohydrate, 20 grams of carbs.
Because of the cream from the Oreo.
That's what's doing it, yeah. It does, I mean, yeah, they're pretty, I do like Oreos, so. But,
The 1 calorie spray, I did also see how they make your whey protein powder.
yeah.
That was
So hopefully you can see the difference in like food volume, right? So potatoes are a big one. Potatoes are great if you are trying to actually go relatively low carb for a high amount of food. Like new potatoes, you can have a whole like big bowl of those. Very satiating. Going to fill you up way more than fries. Not saying fries are bad, but again, if we're trying to make decisions here that are going to help us towards our goal, like I said, berries over chocolate. Again, not saying chocolate's bad, but again, depends what we're aiming for. Leaner protein cuts over higher fats. Again, that's going to allow us to have more protein for less calories, which again means we could then fill the rest of the meal with other stuff as well, right? So we can make a big old plate of food rather than a really, I do love a ribeye steak, but that's kind of it. Like that's a lot of calories on a plate. So it's kind of that and maybe a bit of veg. Whereas if I had like a leaner cut, so I had a flat iron steak tonight, that's only about 230 calories, 240 calories. That meant I can have more on the rest of my plate to fill out the meal. So again, it's just making those decisions, right? Fruits and veg are massively your friend when it comes to dieting, right? You want to make sure your plate is full and you're obviously having more fiber as well. The end goal is that after calorie awareness and understanding portion control, so doing a bit of tracking, you then will get better instincts that can help you with quote unquote intuitive eating. Right? Intuitive eating in our environment is actually really difficult because most of us are pretty stressed, most of us are underslept, most of us are surrounded by calories. We live in a caloric surplus or a hypercaloric environment. Which means if you've had a bad day and you're a bit tired and you're in a mood and you're at the line at the petrol station waiting to get something and what's all lined up next to you, it's all of the sweets and all the good stuff, right? It's really hard then to be like, intuitively, I feel like I should be having a chocolate bar right now, right? Not actually understanding all of the things that were coming up before that. So that's why intuitive eating without actually understanding calories or the effect of calories in certain foods and understanding food volume is really difficult. It's like trying to speak a foreign language without, understanding what you're saying essentially. So you kind of have to go through this first to then get to this point, right? So we are 16 weeks out now from our photo shoot. I've been giving a little diet break, so I've got 2 or 3 weeks where my calories have gone up. I'm not necessarily tracking as accurately at the moment because a lot of it I know, having done this a lot. So I'm able to be a bit more intuitive at the moment without necessarily having to be as strict. When my calories come back down again, I will focus and hone in a bit more. But I've built up that skill set now over the years to understand actually I know kind of what is what. But it takes time. It's skill, right? It's practice. You have to go through it, right? It's like learning an instrument. You will have to repeat going over it again, and you'll mess it up and you'll get your scales wrong, but it doesn't matter. Over time, you will improve and get better at it. That's kind of hopefully, as you guys understand, that's our philosophy, right? So it's not about the short-term diets. It's actually about understanding the systems that are going to help you long-term and making those like little decisions with repeated consistency over years, right? That's kind of the key of what we want to push with people, because life is for living at the end of the day. And I don't know about you, but I love food. I absolutely love food. Like, food's a big part of my life kind of growing up. I really like cooking. I like cooking for my family. My family and I like going out to nice meals, to restaurants and stuff like that. I would hate to take that away from anyone, but I understand that if I have a certain goal, I can't necessarily do that all the time. So it's just finding that balance, right? That's the key. So, but as far as I'm aware, food's like one of the best things we've got. How lucky are we that we can basically eat any food at any point in the time of year? It's not even seasonal anymore. It's just we can eat whatever we want, right? So let's be grateful for that, not be ungrateful for it. But understand that, yeah, we want to make sure we're kind of working towards whether our goals are. Do we have... Oh, yeah. I thought Lizzie was coming tonight, but she may have forgot. But she would say this as well, right? The people who keep weight off the long term aren't the most disciplined. They're the ones who've built the right skills. So Lizzie, in the last year, as she mentioned, I think she's down 16, 17 kilos. She's 100%, she would admit herself, she is not the most disciplined. She will have times when things will go off and she might go off it, but she will always have the kind of skill set to fall back on, even when times get tough. When she's on a film set and she's at the behest of whatever the catering is there, right? That's just whatever she's got, right? But she has the skill set to be right, I'll make sure I eat before I get there. I'll make sure I'm full, all that kind of stuff. So I think the last bit was any questions? Yeah, before we turn this off. Why does it keep dropping out? Cool. Does anyone have any questions about anything we've been through? Even if it's repeating stuff, I'm always happy to repeat stuff because most people don't remember it the first time they hear it. They need to hear it a few times, right? So does anyone have anything they want to go over again? Like I said, there are no stupid questions with this kind of stuff. It's not easy. If it was easy, none of you would be here, right? We'd all be absolutely fine. Everyone would know exactly what they're doing. So if you do have any questions or anything you want to go through, I'm all ears. We all good? Anything, Paula?
Just trying to think. I think there's the bit around you're tracking your calories. You're also tracking, because you said to switch the exercise bit off.
Yeah.
Again, you know, there is a point to doing the exercise as well, because we are creating more of that deficit again.
That is one of the side effects of doing exercise.
Yeah, but don't make it the prime.
That's it.
like
That's it.
trying to lose.
Exercise is about improving your strength, your quality of movement, your health and your fitness, right? So actually being cardiovascularly fit, being physically strong, having muscle, having bone density, having, ligament and tendon strength, and being able to use your body how you want. That's how you want to view exercise, not as a means to an end of burning calories to eat food. I think that's the fitness industry is a big apology to everyone who has done that, because I think we've all done it, right? We've all been through that period where we've gone, oh right, yeah, if I train a bit harder, I'll be able to eat this, right? And it was a big thing. It was like, yeah, load of people in the gym, when I used to work in the gym, they would just come on the treadmill to burn a certain amount of calories and then they'd go. And it's like, that just seems really sad. That doesn't seem like, that's not what our bodies are designed for. They're designed to move and be able to do stuff, right? How's that back?
Sorry about
Lawrence, you have a question?
It's more of a something for you to expand on, I think. Is that earlier you mentioned protein and vegetable as being safe, and by exclusion, fat being unsafe. Can you expand on maybe the calorific values of those macronutrients?
Yeah.
So that people understand why I think label them safe and unsafe?
So, you're all here now, so you don't need to see this.